Now's the best time to make money in the bear market. Now, when all the token prices are suppressed, now's the time for you to pounce. You've been saving capital. Now you need to realize that this is where people sell their tokens at a loss and you scoop them right up.
Hello and welcome back to our second episode of Meet the Member. I have an OG member here in Leon, also known as Metaverse. How are you, Leon?
Hello, mate. How are you going? I'm going good. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks for coming on, man. You are the Solana superstar who is very active in our Discord, pushing out some really great quality content for everyone else. So first of all, thanks, mate, for contributing so much.
Thank you very much. I do try my hardest. When I first got in, I was like, I can't really be an expert in everything. And I don't think anyone should be. You have to pick something, become an expert in that, and then, you might get some profits along the way.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm keen to hear all about Solana. But first of all, outside of Solana superstar, Leon, what do you do for non-crypto work?
For non-crypto work, I'm actually a nurse in New South Wales, Australia. I'm an operating theatre nurse, so scalpel, needle, make the patient go to sleep for their surgery. That's what I usually do. So that's my 9 to 5 or really shift work. And when I'm not doing that, I'm doing YouTube videos, content for crypto, Web3, Solana specifically, as we said, and making some posts on the Collective Shift platform.
Awesome, man. And what got you into crypto?
That's like a long story. I'll try and shorten it down a little bit. So I initially heard about BTC in 2014, 2015, maybe. I was 14 years old or something like that, working at Macca's. I didn't care. I didn't care about any of that. I was like, nah, this looks like internet stuff. Nah, not for me. And 2017 comes along, BTC halvening. Oh, there's going to be this giant split of the chain. I kind of educate myself about it. I'm like, oh, this guy is still around, I should really look into it. So I bought myself some BTC and then I went through BCH. And I was like, I like BTC better. I think that's where the most of the community is. That's where it's all going to go. And so, 2017 is actually the start of my official crypto journey.
Awesome, man. In terms of Solana, I assume that's where your main focus is, you're creating content. What are the sort of upcoming trends that you're seeing across the crypto space, and where are you focusing most of your attention at the moment?
Yeah, so to be honest, Solana's kind of turning into, because of the properties of Solana, it's super fast, even though it is having some delaying issues at the moment. Every chain has growth issues. Solana is turning into like a gaming chain for what I've seen. There's a lot of metaverse plays, a lot of GameFi plays, gamification specifically, coming over to Solana. It was probably started with Star Atlas when it first came along. But it seems like a lot of these people are migrating over here because they can see the really cheap transactions and they've got the Serum order book. So, you can list your game NFT and automatically it's in the entire chain. Anyone else can use it. That's what I'm looking at in Solana at the moment. There's a few other things. There's some infrastructure plays. There's a RPC node provider called Shadowy Supercoders. I'm part of them. I love it. I make content in Solana specifically for Great Protocol, just like a Web3 community, really, just a whole bunch of people getting together to try and educate people on Solana.
Awesome, Lance. Would you call yourself a Solana maxi?
No, I would not call myself a Solana maxi at all. I think we are going to a multi-chain future. And when I say that, it's not just BTC, it's not just Lightning, it's not just ETH, even though how powerful I see ETH is. You will need other chains. They will splinter off and they'll have their own specific use cases. As I say, Solana for gaming, maybe Ethereum for the Web3 / NFT giant ecosystem, giant world computer. And BTC, maybe Lightning for world payments. We never know. I just think it's not just one chain. So I don't like the BTC maximalism or the Ethereum maximalism. No, not for me.
Awesome, man. I'm with you on that front. I think everyone can have a share of the pie. And what's your I guess tips or advice to other Collective Shift members that might be starting out, or just general lessons you've learned on this crypto journey?
There's a lot, man. I think I can probably narrow it down to 4. I haven't been in this space for as long as some people like yourself or some of the other OGs who bought Bitcoin at $100 or something. But, you be in the ecosystem, you learn a few things. For example, unit bias. This is so true. When I first got in, I rode Ripple all the way down from $2 or something. What an idiot, right? I was looking at, I can afford 100 of these or 1,000 of these, whereas I can't afford one Bitcoin. You got to look at the market cap, right? That's what really matters. The realized market cap, the fully diluted market cap. And these are the sorts of stuff I learned at Collective Shift here. Another thing I would say is don't put all your eggs in one basket. Multi-chain future. I'm very heavily, because I'm more retail, I'm a nurse for God's sake. I'm not super into finances. What I would suggest is if you're not sure, just go for the index route, MVI or DPI, even though DeFi Pulse Index hasn't really been performing well. But those are blue chips, Try and find index coins or like Invictus Capital, where they give you a index of the top 10, top 20 coins. And then make sure you diversify properly. Maybe CS has some really good portfolio advice on how to structure different types of wallets that you have, different portfolios, 50% BTC, 30 ETH, the rest, and only really small plays for those degen plays when you're not really sure. One more thing I would probably say is one thing I've learned, and I think I heard this recently at Collective Shift, was the layer ones, right? If you're going to be buying a token on an obscure chain or somewhere else, I think Nathan said this, then automatically you're bullish on that layer one. If you go and buy a token on Solana, that means you're automatically bullish on Solana. So is your token actually going to outperform Solana? Is your token going to outperform ETH as an ERC20 token? Is it really? Like, does it have more promise than the layer one token? So for me, I've kind of consolidated a lot into just layer ones because that's where a lot of the action is. Everyone who comes in, all the tokens are going to be paired against that base L1 token. So that's three things I think, and just BD, deep dive.
That's awesome, man. I like that last point. It's like, do you want to bet on the app or do you want to bet on the app store? Or even do you want to bet on the app store or do you want to bet on Apple? You know what I mean? That's like,
yeah, that's right.
It's looking at the highway, like who owns the highway, not the cars. I think that's really interesting.
Exactly.
What's your take, Leon, on layer ones in general? Obviously you're pretty heavy into Solana. Do you see, we talk about multi-chains being the future. Do you see Ethereum and Solana having, different use cases long-term? You said Solana might be looking at a little bit more gaming. Do you foresee those two working hand in hand, crossing over a little bit? How do you sort of see that playing out?
Yes, I do. I see them crossing over a bit more because we're still in siloed chains, right? We do have bridges coming across from L1 to L2, from Ethereum to any of the L2s. But like we also have in Solana, we also have Wormhole, which lets us go to a lot of other places. So all we need is like an overarching dApp that utilizes the Wormhole on the back end to be able to transfer all our assets, no matter what chain. If you got Ethereum, if you got USDC or UST on Ethereum, and you want to go anchor and get 20% APY, all you got to do is click a button. That's where I think we're going to go. So I think, yes, that there is a bit more work to be done for the L1s, and that they all have their different niche, but we'll get to a point, hopefully in the next year, 2 years, maybe 3 years, with the amount of money and VC coming into the space. We're going to get to that point where it won't matter what chain you're bloody on. You'll just be able to click button, easy UI, and you'll be able to get what you need. That's where I think we're going. So they got each have their own little things, but later on they're all going to come together, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the user experience, the interface is still what's missing a little bit. Like it's still really hard. Even MetaMask. Yeah, even MetaMask I heard recently, like people just don't understand it. So once we get that technology and that more user experience, the marketing side sort of down pat, I think we'll start to see that real world adoption.
Speaking of MetaMask, we can even see like on Solana, Phantom Wallet. It's the same kind of principle as MetaMask, right? I don't know if you've used Phantom at all, but the UX feels so much nicer to use than it does MetaMask. And I'm not saying that because I do Solana videos, but I came on as a first person in Solana. I was like, oh, okay, this is their MetaMask, but it's so much nicer to use. So they got something right for their UI.
Well, Consensus just raised an absolute bucket load of money. So hopefully they can make MetaMask a little bit.
Hopefully they can release a token, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think Nick posted about this the other day. I think he gave it a 4 out of 5 star rating of potential airdrop. Yep. I have heard whispers that they are doing it, but it's, I'm not too sure how far away. We're discussing this earlier today. I think it's like getting in and using these dApps, using these protocols, just having some transactions, using Solana, using Ethereum, using, Phantom, whatever it might be to generate some transactions, generate using the product.
Transaction history.
Exactly, because these companies want to reward that. They want you to use their platform and they will reward you through these airdrops. So I think that resource was called Potential Airdrops for 2022 for members to jump over and check that out.
Yeah, giving them out of 5 stars. And like to complement this, I think another one of your staff members did do a tutorial on how to bridge to these L2s, how to bridge to ZK Sync and how to bridge to Arbitrum. Like all the resources are there. You just got to watch the videos and just generate a transaction history for yourself. And one of these days you might get like a Tornado Cash airdrop or a layer 2 airdrop, and that might change your life.
100%. And I think we saw that with the ETH domain or ENS service.
ENS. Crazy.
Some people have like 20, 30 different domains. Domain hunting.
Unfortunately for me, I never got an ENS domain name because the ETH transaction fees were just too high for me. I'm retail. I couldn't afford a lot of these transactions. So when Gwei was like 200, I was like, nah, I can't do it. I can't justify it, for a possibility. But now gas is like, I don't know, 20, 30 Gwei, super easy.
It's a little bit easier for the everyday person or anyone in general. I mean, even if you're just transacting smaller NFTs, it's like your gas fees sometimes are higher than the NFTs. But anyway.
Yep.
Awesome, Leon. How do you use Collective Shift and where do you sort of find the best value and any tips for members on that front?
Yeah, sure. So to be honest, I use it every day. I don't want to sound like a shill, but as soon as I wake up, I check my Facebook feed, check my Reddit feed, then I check my CS feed. What's new? And I thank God I did that because today I saw the giant news from Bored Ape Yacht Club. I wouldn't have been updated on this until halfway through today. So luckily I was able to get on and see, you guys producing this content and getting a lot of this information out super early when it's actually happening. So the other things I use it for is I like your investment and analysis, specifically Nathan. I think he's a very big value to you guys. The rigor he takes to some of these protocols and the token valuations. For me, that's what I really want as like a user of CS. I come in, I say, okay, what is the current fully diluted market cap? What possibly could it go to based on these metrics, based on this model? And do I need to now rationalize if I'm going to participate in this ecosystem or not? Those for me are ginormous. They're one of the best reports I've ever seen. The early stage crypto opportunities reports are also pretty good for me. But to be honest, the entire platform, you guys are like doing it all. You got so much information. Sometimes I can't even digest all the information. I have to skip videos because I don't have enough time for it. Time is valuable, I use all of it, to be honest. The Facebook group as well is pretty good, but I tend to really focus on the platform more because that's where I feel most of the critical information is.
Awesome, man. That's really helpful. Thank you very much for that. I think the content feed and just generally the platform, and now we've added comments. We're trying to build that community, I guess, inside the platform, so it's not disjointed in Facebook or Discord. The
social aspect is coming. I can see the comments at the end of it, and that really helps as well if you want to give any feedback as well. But what I would suggest, I don't know if you guys are working on it soon, is like just a small section that all the community members can chat, just like a Facebook or just like a live rolling chat with everyone involved. I assume it might be coming sometime later, but got other priorities. But so far, content is like top notch. I'm super happy. I still have my subscription.
Awesome, man. Thank you, Leon. And if you had to define what life was like before Collective Shift versus now life like after Collective Shift, how would you describe that?
Oh, that's a good question. How would I define life before Collective Shift? In regards to crypto, I would probably say like being on the later end of receiving information, because information is power, right? The earlier you have access to something, the earlier you know information, you get that advantage over someone else. So for me, it's changed my life because when I have this information, I'm able to act. I'm able to make decisions a bit more clearly. Do I participate? Yes or no? Do I need more information after seeing this report by someone? That's really brought my attention to a niche in the Web3 ecosystem that is needed. And these guys are the first ones there. For example, Maple, I'm like, oh, crap. Thank God I listened to that, right? So same as your video this morning as well. So for me, information, it's changed my life because I'm able to make decisions a lot more clearly.
Awesome, man. That's really awesome. Thank you very much. Leon, for members, I follow your stuff in Discord. I've been over and watched a little bit of your content on Solana. Where can people find you and follow you and your content?
Yeah, sure. So simply, you can find me on Twitter at metaverse, me_metaverse, or just type in Metaverse Explorer into YouTube. I'm like I'm like 9 of the top 10 videos when you type in Metaverse Explorer, or awesome. Mostly Solana in general. I'm part of a lot of the Solana Discords, a lot of the communities in there, great protocol especially, but I'm all over Solana. So if you see me there, just say hi, I'll say hi back.
Awesome, man. Yeah, Leon is really active in our Discord. So if you want some Solana tips or just crypto in general, hit him up on Discord. And man, thank you so much for coming on. I know you've got a couple of weeks off, so you'll be digging into crypto, I think.
Yeah, that's right. But now's the best time to make money in the bear market. Now when all the token prices are suppressed, now's the time for you to pounce. You've been saving capital. Now you need to realize that this is where people sell their tokens at a loss and you scoop them right up.
I love it, man.
So that's what I'm doing.
We'll drop the mic on that. Thanks very much. Cheers, man.
All right. See you guys. Bye.